So you're driven, you've got big goals, you want success, and deep down you picture yourself living the life you've always dreamed about. But there's an issue. You're lazy. You already know what needs to be done, yet you don't take action, which creates a sense of guilt because you're aware you could be doing more. That guilt slowly stacks up over days, weeks, and months until it eventually turns into acceptance. Then a new year begins, and once again you bring back the same goals from the year before. You start with energy, powered by motivation and a little bit of illusion, but soon enough procrastination sneaks in like that one relative who never waits for an invitation. Your ongoing procrastination becomes a daily habit of laziness, and before long you've started to identify yourself as a lazy person. So how do you escape this loop and finally overcome procrastination? There are countless videos online, but most of them only deal with surface-level fixes like removing distractions or deleting social media. While those strategies might work temporarily, they don't solve the deeper problem, the root cause of procrastination, which can be summarized in one word: inertia. In physics, inertia describes the tendency of objects at rest to remain at rest, and objects in motion to continue moving unless influenced by an external force. This is also known as Newton's first law of motion. Interestingly, this principle applies just as much to human behavior as it does to physical objects. Starting any task, no matter how small, requires an initial push, some level of energy to break out of that resting state of inertia, and that's exactly where the problem lies. We exaggerate that first step in our minds, making it feel overwhelming and difficult. So instead of starting, we avoid the task completely and turn to easy dopamine-filled distractions. To overcome procrastination, we need to overcome inertia, and there are two simple ways to do that. Since starting is the hardest part, you should make it as easy as possible by lowering the stakes and taking the smallest step forward. For instance, if you tell yourself you need to sit down and finish a 5,000-word essay, the inertia feels massive because the task seems so demanding. But if you instead tell yourself you'll just write 50 words, the resistance drops significantly, making it much easier to begin without relying heavily on discipline or willpower. Another well-known strategy is the 2-minute rule. If you don't feel like doing something, just commit to doing it for 2 minutes, then allow yourself to stop if you want. For example, if you don't feel like cleaning your room, play a song, clean while it's playing, and stop when it ends. The interesting part is that most of the time you'll keep going beyond those 2 minutes, or you'll end up writing more than just 50 words. This happens because once something is in motion, it tends to stay in motion. After you begin, you build momentum, and that momentum carries you forward. At first, it's like pushing a ball uphill, but once you get past that initial resistance, everything becomes easier. It's like rolling downhill from there. That's why the first step needs to be small and manageable. In simple terms, lower the stakes and just start with 2 minutes. You can use these methods in any part of your life to beat procrastination, whether it's going to the gym, working on a side project, improving your relationships, or anything else you want to achieve. As Martin Luther King once said, you don't need to see the entire staircase, you just need to take the first step.